Leo, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. And I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button right there. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really makes a difference to my channel, and I would love to see my channel continue to grow. So, Leo, that's how you can help me make that happen, or anybody who's out there watching. All right, let's see what's going on for you, Leo, next 7 to 10 days. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Leo, always. All right, Leo, let's see. I've got the Everyday Witch Tarot working for us today. All right, we've got the Temperance card coming in reverse, crossed by the 5 of Cups. I feel as if you realize that you can no longer continue the way you've been going. All right, the 5 of Cups can be a depressed state. It can be, really down and out, disappointment, definitely disappointment. It's just, when we have the Temperance card coming in reversed, Temperance tries to figure out things and ways to make things work. And if this was a love situation that you were involved with, you've been really kind of sitting in your feels about, the disconnect of the connection, Temperance card coming in reverse says, I'm not going to do that anymore. Nope, I'm not going to do it anymore. Can't be fixed. All right, we've got the Justice card coming in here reversed. All right, so when the Justice card shows up reversed, something's off. All right, we've got a real imbalance. But it can talk about, how you want to move and proceed. Because there could be some legal things that need to be attended to, right? If this is a partnership that you, are really connected with, here, 2 of Pentacles, recent past. You've been trying to figure out what to do, because if there is some kind of a bond or a connection that in order for you to move on requires you to, deal with some legal matters, that could be why you've been putting it off. We have the Tower here coming in reversed. Again, this is you avoiding something that, could, turn everything around. And I think, you've been sitting on the fence about some decision. All right, and I think, you've been hanging in there trying to make it work. Here we've got the Magician coming in reverse. It hasn't worked, right? When the Magician shows up reverse, it's not working, is it? No. So, Leo, what I get is that, you take matters into your own hands. With the 5 of Swords. Because here, if we look, there's one person handling all the swords, and the other 2 people are like, oh my God, no, are you sure you want to do that? But, when things aren't going in your favor and it's time to, figure out, what your next move is, this is when I feel like you take matters in your own hands. The Magician comes in reversed, all right? So, with that being said, all right, the Magician coming in reverse, this is, an energy of manipulation, but it usually backfires, all right? Because when somebody is trying to manipulate something before it's time, or when some against their will, or when it's just not, right type of thing, it backfires. And here, we've got the 9 of Swords also sitting here next to this Magician. So there could have been something that you tried to make happen before it was time, or pushed it, or, there could be, that you're wondering whether or not things didn't turn the way you wanted them to turn, because of something that you did. Or something that somebody did. The thing is right now I see that you're kind of stuck, all right? Because, whatever it is that is, making you move on, all right? Because you can't continue to try to make something work when it's just not happening. And even if you don't like it, and you don't like how people handled it or how the situation went down, right now you're feeling a little stuck because, it's not right. Whatever it was, the Devil card showing up, the energies that you've been dealing with have not been fair. And it is, I feel as if, there is somebody around you, who took advantage of you. This Magician reversed, this Devil reversed. This is somebody trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. And if you did do that, maybe you're trying to undo it now. But here with the 2 of Wands, it's easier, said than done. Anyway, a lot of worry you have over this situation that's come up. And Two of Pentacles, I think you're trying to figure out how to, you know, make it all work. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Ten of Cups coming in reversed. You know, because this affects everyone. This affects family. You know, this is not something that you want to continue with this Three of Wands coming in reversed. So definitely there's a situation in your life, Leo, that, you know, I feel as if you've been really worried about it and the outcome and how things are going to play out. And I think, you know, it's one of those things, you know, it's almost like I'd rather not know than really know what's really going on. But be careful if you take matters into your own hands, all right? Because like I said, with this Five of Swords, we've got to pick our battles, all right? So, you know, if you're going to kind of move in a direction, because, you know, like I said, you're feeling really kind of stuck right now. And this energy here, it's stressing you out because when we have the Nine of Swords, it's just like we don't know what to do. But the card that follows is the Ten of Swords, all right? So something's got to end here, all right? Something definitely has to end here. And I feel as if you reach that point this week where, you know, I'm not going to keep trying to put energy into something that's not working. And if this is like a legal settlement or something that, you know, you've been trying and, you know, you have to keep putting another peel and another peel. And I mean, it gets to a point where you can't continue, you know. So there is, you know, that you reach a point where, you know, you've got to look at what it is that's blocking you from being able to make the next move, because you want to make a decision here, but without being able to move past this devil, all right, this block. And it could be a legal situation. You know, like for instance, say you have a child, all right, let's just use a child for instance. And, you know, you're divorced and you want to move on and you want to move away, but they're not going to let you do this, all right? They take you to court and somehow they hold it up. And, you know, the demands of, you know, it all working out, you know, you struggle with that, you know, as to like, well, I don't know whether I should keep trying. So this week, I think you're going to really look at all of that. Anyway, take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story, right? Cancer, Leo. You know, maybe you are dealing with a Cancer. I don't know. I just did Cancer. Anyway, Leo, take what works, leave what doesn't. I sure appreciate each and every one of you. So if it resonated, great. And if it didn't, that's okay. All right, check your sun, moon, rising, Venus signs, all that kind of stuff. And see if maybe there's a message over there for you. Until then, be happy, be well, be kind, and I'll see you later. All right, bye now.